I will.
Bow our heads. Dear gracious Heavenly Father God, we thank you so much, Lord, for this another day, Lord. We're so thankful, Lord, for all your wonderful blessings you bestowed upon us today, Lord. We're thankful, Lord, for the rain, Lord. You knew that we needed it, Lord, and you sent it, Lord. And we're thankful for that. We're thankful, Lord, for the people in attendance today, Lord. We're thankful for all the officials that are here tonight, Lord. I pray, God, now and ask that you bless this meeting, Lord. They go according to your will, Lord. Bless our city as we move forward. I ask what also in your dear gracious Heavenly name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'm going to be calling the Corbin City Commission April 21st meeting to order with a roll call, please.
Moore. Here. Gamble.
Here.
Shepherd.
Here.
Baker. Rasmus.
Here. First on the agenda is to approve the March bills.
That motion?
Second.
Moore.
Yes.
Gamble.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
Rasmus.
Yes. Approve the minutes from the March 20th meeting. Were you here? All right, hang on a minute, let's find it. Oh, here it is. Yeah, you were here.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. I can't second. Can I second? Okay. Thank you, Bob.
Let's see my other phone start.
Gamble. Shepherd.
So you gotta,
You gotta disqualify. Disqualify.
Okay. Moore.
Yes.
Rasmus.
yes. All right, is that it?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Next on to the agenda, I've got someone very special here, actually two very special people here today that I want to present a Corbin Kernel to. But before I bring them up here, I'm going to read a little something about what they have done for our city over the years. So, Joe Caldwell was the president of the Corbin Chamber of Commerce from 1983 and 1987. He was a member of the Tourism Board and the Industrial Commission. Joe and Charlie Hout volunteered to do a pig roast at the Nibrock and Oktoberfest for 20 years with all proceeds going to the Corbin Chamber. They did the pig roast for the opening of the Grove Fish House and another for the Laurel Lake Spillway dedication and other celebration that anything that the chamber wanted them to do, pretty much. Joe and Charlie volunteered and built the horse show ring at the Civic Center, worked the horse show for many years, and when Joe volunteered, he always knew Lola would be right there working with them. They have been side by side for 62 years, and let me tell you, without Joe and Lola, the Empty Stocking Fund would not be in its 38th year, is that right? How many years is Empty Stocking now?
Since 1988.
So a long time, and they have worked it every year, and they are the backbone of the Empty Stocking Fund. They are there for the international dinner, cooking every year. They cook for Ireland. They do a fabulous job. They are such a tremendous asset to this community that I wanted to present them. I presented them with a surprise Corbin Kernel at the Rotary meeting several weeks ago, but I wanted to do it in a full commission meeting because I wanted everyone to know exactly how integral that they are to the city of Corbin. And I did make this Corbin Kernel, the last one said Joe and Lola Caldwell, this one says Lola and Joe Caldwell. So she gets to hang hers up wherever she wants to. So anyway, come on up and let's get your picture. And Joe's going to say a few words because he's got something to say too. I'm going to get in the middle of you. There you go. All right. All right, everybody here? Scotty?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, we ready? How's that look?
All right. Thank you so much.
Let me see.
thanks to everybody.
I've been this way.
5 minutes, okay.
Now.
Joe?
Joe, do you want to come up to the microphone? There you go.
I came to Corbin area. I've never lived in the city limits of Corbin. But when I was going to college, I used to drive right down Main Street 5 days a week, going to school for 3 years. When I graduated in 1972, on Saturday night, I started to work for the gas company here in town on Monday. And I worked down there from 1972 to 2000, right at 2099. And so I knew quite a bit about Corbin. And during the time that I was working here, I did a number of things that she didn't mention and some that she did mention. And I made some notes so I wouldn't be rambling on a lot, so I'm going to read this so I'll stay on point. Mayor, I do thank you and the commission for giving me this award. It's going to be as important or more important than my Kentucky Colonel one, which I got without doing anything. But I do thank you very much. I became a contributor to the success of Corbin in 1974 as a negotiator for my employer, Peoples Gas Company of Kentucky, in the solicitation of Certainty Manufacturing Company. And 73 and 74, we were able to get them to locate here because we could promise and we could guarantee that we would give them up to 2 million cubic feet of gas on a cold day or the coldest day because they didn't want to be interrupted. So we did and they did. They moved here and we only had one day that we ever got even close to that, and most of the time it was about 1,000,001 or 1,000,002. But anyway, we got them to locate, and shortly after that location or them agreed to location, I was asked to sit on the Corbin Industrial Commission where I served for about 20 years. Sometime around 1977, I was asked to join the Greater Corbin Chamber of Commerce. I was chosen to serve as its president, starting in the first meeting in 1983. When asked by the outgoing president of the chamber if I had any goals written down, I said no. He gulped real big, like, what in the world are we going to do with this fellow? I said, but I've got some right up here. I had 4 things in mind that I wanted to start and to proceed to get accomplished. 2 of them that were the most was downtown Corbin sidewalks were in a terrible mess, and so was the street. And I wanted to see if I could get Main Street paved and sidewalks rebuilt. I was told that the mayor then didn't want that done because he was afraid it would interrupt the businesses too much and people couldn't get to their businesses. So I started work. That was one of the 2 things. The other thing was I wanted to see if we couldn't start doing something about getting an overpass. So that night I appointed Tom Thurston as the chairman of the committee that would go to Frankfort and see if what we could get started. In 2 weeks, he had us an appointment with the Secretary of Transportation. His name was Rumke, and he was within the last 6 months of Governor Brown's term. He put the Main Street project back on the 6-year program. And it wasn't probably 6 months before they went out of office that they announced they were gonna do Main Street. When we got a new governor, Tom Thurston and I went and visited with him. When we got another governor, we went and visited him. So we visited every governor, stayed in touch with them and the secretaries of transportation until we got far enough along that we got funding, $13 million to build that overpass. When Brereton Jones was governor, and they were about to quit doing the project, I went to the governor's office on another situation, and I asked him, why did he stop the project? And he said, I only promised somebody I would look at a different route, but they were gonna let the contract, and he knew about the underpass. In about 3 weeks, they let the contract. 1993, or thereabouts, they started on that road, and we got it. And persistence, just like you, Mayor, or what you've done in North Corbin, is if you're assigned a duty, you don't quit, you keep going, and you will succeed. In 1987, I was again selected to serve as president of the Greater Corbin Chamber of Commerce. And one of my main goals then was to develop a nonprofit 501c3 to do some stuff on Main Street where we had dilapidated buildings, especially on 3rd to 4th Street. We set up that 501c3, we bought the whole block, and we developed it, and then we turned around and sold it. So that was the best success that I had from that time. In about 1987, when I was still in the chamber as president, Alan Trimble asked me to help him with Eastern Kentucky University to get them to come down and teach more classes. So we went to Eastern and visited with the president, and he promised to start teaching more classes. And the end result of working with them and so forth, they wanted me to head a committee to find property to build a building to have classes here in Corbin. After we found the property, they asked me to be chairman to raise $750,000 to buy the equipment for inside the building and the chairs and tables and school desks and that sort of thing. So we raised all of that except one part of it. Somebody unknown to me to this day gave us $250,000 and put us over the hump. So from those things, I've been involved in other stuff like she said about pig roasting and so forth. But one of the things that I was proud of doing is I don't know if anybody remembers the Up With the People concert that came to Corbin. There was about 140 of them, and we did pig roast for them. Most of them went home with people, stayed there, and was gonna eat with them, so we had a lot of pork left over. Did that, and then the Ohio Kentucky Outdoor Press Association was down on Laurel Lake, and we went down there and cooked for them. And then we had the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce came down and had a board meeting down here, and Susie's mother, Nelda, was president of the chamber that year, and we cooked for the board members. So those were some of the best things that I remember. And I could go on, but I'll sit down.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. That was really interesting to learn about all you've done. And a lot of that I did not know. so I appreciate you. I guess I need to give you another one next month now, because you've done more than I knew, but
I'll take it.
anyway.
I'll take it, I got plenty of space on the wall.
All right, also on a somber note now, we've got to honor Joe and Lola, but I did want to acknowledge the passing of our longtime city commissioner, Phil Gregory. He served our city from 1999 to 2012 very honorably, and I would like to direct Fire Chief McDonald to lower the city flags to half staff for the remainder of the week in his memory. All right, we are going to now move, we're gonna hop around on our agenda a little bit, and we are going to hire us a couple of police officers. So at this time, we would like to hire Franklin Foster and Christopher Jones as Corbin City Police. I need a motion for that.
Make a motion.
Second.
Moore,
Yes.
Gamble,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Rasmus.
Yes. Come on up, guys. Come on up, Rusty. Nice to meet you. All right, good picture with him.
Camera difficulties.
Rusty broke the can. Welcome, guys. Glad to have you. And I'm also going to jump around, and we're going to hire us some full-time firefighters effective May 1st, 2025. Randy Baker Jr. and an old friend, Mike Neal. Awesome. Come on up, guys. Oh, yeah, we do need a motion for that. But come on up anyway. We'll get the picture while y'all are on your way.
He don't want you back, huh?
I don't know, I figured if anybody said no, it'd be him.
I'll make a motion.
Second. Gamble,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Rasmus.
Yes, welcome. Glad to have you back, Mike.
Glad to be back.
Good.
It's boring sitting at the house.
All right, great. Okay, now back on task. Let's do the first reading of ordinance 2025-3, an ordinance annexing to the city limits of Corbin, Kentucky, a certain tract of real property owned by Baxmax LLC located at West Cumberland Gap Parkway and establishing the zoning classification for said tract of real property owned by individual property owners.
Whereas ordinance number 2025-3, an ordinance of the city of Corbin, Kentucky, annexing to the city limits of Corbin, Kentucky, a certain tract of real property and establishing the zoning classification for said tract of real property owned by individual property owners. Whereas KRS 81A.410 authorizes and delegates to city legislative bodies the authority to annex territories. Whereas KRS 81A.412 provides the manner in which said annexation may be accomplished by consent of the property owners. Whereas KRS 81A.415 provides the manner in which said annexation may be accomplished by a city containing interior counties of an area and an additional county, whereas the property owners petitioned and consented in writing that their certain tracts of real property be annexed and incorporated into the city of Corbin, Kentucky, whereas the real property described herein is adjacent and contiguous to the present city of Corbin, Kentucky, whereas the real property described herein by reason of population density, commercial, industrial, institutional, or governmental use of land or subdivision of land is urban in character or suitable for development for urban purposes without unreasonable delay, whereas the real property described herein and not within the boundary of another incorporated city, whereas the real property described herein contains infrastructure owned by the city or an agency, political subdivision, department, or instrumentality of the city of Corbin, whereas the real property described herein is not within an agricultural district as certified by the State Soil and Water Conservation Commission, and whereas at least 45 days prior to the enactment of a final annexation ordinance under KRS 81A.412, the city of Corbin provided notice of said annexation to the Laurel County Fiscal Court, the county containing the territory to be annexed. Now therefore be it ordained by the Board of Commissioners of the city of Corbin, Kentucky as follows. Section 1. That pursuant to KRS 81A.412 and KRS 81A.415, though certain tracts of real property owned by Baxmax LLC located at West Cumberland Gap Parkway and assigned the following map numbers by the Laurel County PVA: 122-00-00-087.01, 122-00-00-087.02, and 122-00-00-087.03 are hereby annexed to the city of Corbin, and said tracts of real property being more particularly described as follows. Legal description attached hereto as Exhibit A. Section 2, that the above reference and above described tracts of real property set forth in Section 1 above containing real property owned by Baxmax LLC is hereby zoned commercial and shall maintain the same zoning designation. Section 3, that the zoning map of the city of Corbin, Kentucky is hereby amended to the above reference and above described tracts of real property set forth in Section 1 above to the city of Corbin, Kentucky's boundaries and to reflect the zoning classification said to the said tracts of real property as set forth in Section 2. Section 4, this ordinance includes a map showing the zoning classifications given to the above reference and above described tracts of real property annexed and zoned herein. Said map is attached hereto and marked Exhibit B and is hereby incorporated herein by reference. This ordinance and map attached hereto as Exhibit B can be reviewed and inspected in the office of the city clerk, City of Corbin, Kentucky, City Government Center, City Hall, 805 South Main Street, Corbin, Kentucky, 40701, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. Section 5, this ordinance shall take effect upon 2 readings, passage and legal advertisement. Section 6, all ordinances or portions thereof in conflict herewith are hereby repealed. First reading, April 21st, 2025.
All right, I'll accept a motion.
That motion.
Second.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Gamble,
Yes.
Rasmus.
Yes. All right, now let's see what comes there. All right, moving on, where's my, lost where I was, okay. First reading of ordinance 2025-4, an ordinance reducing the vehicular speed limit for South Kentucky Avenue Street from 19th Street to 23rd Street and setting forth that Whitley District Court shall have jurisdiction and venue for any violation of ordinance.
Ordinance number 2025-4, ordinance of the city of Corbin, Kentucky, reducing the vehicular speed limit for South Kentucky Avenue/Street from 19th Street to 23rd Street and setting forth that Whitley District Court shall have jurisdiction and venue for any violation of ordinance. Be it ordained by the Board of Commissioners of the city of Corbin, Kentucky as follows. Section 1, the maximum vehicular speed limit for South Kentucky Avenue or Street from 19th Street to 23rd Street shall be 15 miles per hour. Section 2, Whitley District Court shall have jurisdiction and venue to hear any violation of this ordinance. Section 3, the city manager shall cause the proper signage to be placed at South Kentucky Avenue/Street and any other appropriate locations to notify and warn vehicular traffic of the aforesaid vehicular speed limit. Section 4, all ordinances in conflict herewith are hereby repealed. Section 5, this ordinance shall be effective upon passage and legal advertisement. Again, first reading, April 21st, 2025.
Make a motion?
Moore,
Yes.
Gamble,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Rasmus.
Yes. All right. Resolution 2025-3, a resolution adopting and approving the execution of a municipal aid co-op program contract for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025.
Resolution 2025-3, Incorporated City of Corbin, resolution adopting and approving the execution of a municipal aid co-op program contract for the Incorporated City and the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet Department of Rural and Municipal Aid for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025, as provided in Kentucky Revised Statutes, accepting all streets referred to therein as being streets which are a part of the Incorporated City. Be it resolved by the legislative body of the Incorporated City that the legislative body of the Incorporated City does hereby accept all streets referred to in said contract as being city streets which are a part of the Incorporated City, and the legislative body of the Incorporated City does hereby ratify and adopt all statements, representations, warranties, covenants, and agreements contained in said contract, and does hereby accept said contract, and by such acceptance agrees to all the terms and conditions therein stated. And the chief executive officer of the said incorporated city is hereby authorized and directed to sign said contract as set forth on behalf of the legislative body of, and the city clerk Corbin is hereby authorized and directed to certify thereto. That's it.
Okay.
I might mention the amount is $183,654.79. Our portion of streets and roads from KYTC in Frankfurt. So what you'd be interested in hearing that.
Absolutely. We're very appreciative of it. We'll use all that and need more, but we'll take that. Yeah.
Said motion.
Second. Gamble,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Rasmus.
Yes. All right, let's close and take action on blacktop, stone, landfill, and cell phone bids for fiscal year 2026. So now, first I need a motion to close the bids.
Said motion.
Second.
You made that, Brandon made the motion. Allison second, right?
Moore,
Yes.
Gamble,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Rasmus.
Yes. Okay.
So we'll start with Blacktop. The deadline for the bids, you all have the invitation to bid and the bid specs included in your packet as well as all the bids we received. We received one bid from ATS Construction for Blacktop, for CO2.38D surface 64-22. The virgin material price per ton is $89, and the 10% recycled price per ton is also $89. This is the Blacktop. For CO2.75D surface 64-22, the virgin material price per ton is $86, and the recycled price per, or the 10% recycled price per ton is also $86. The hauling and applying asphalt with the task cost included for virgin material price per ton is $35, and the 10% recycled price per ton is also $35. It says the total bid is based on material FOB and installation.
All right.
That's the same price per ton as last year. And that's on the laid down surface, so that's what we use as the first one listed, the $89 virgin materials.
That's the only bid we received.
Yes, sir. ATS Construction.
So I need a motion to accept ATS.
Motion to
as
accept.
our- Okay.
Second.
Gamble,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Rasmus.
Yes.
We'll do stone next. We received one bid from Heidelberg Materials. And I have received business cards in the bids as well, if y'all want to contact any of the people who submitted them. For stone. If I could find it here. So this is from Heidelberg Materials Midwest. This is the net bid price. For DGA, it is $20.79 per ton. For number 57, it's $24.09 per ton. For number 8, it's $27.43 per ton. For number 4, it's $23.01 per ton. For riprap or shot rock, it is $21.22 per ton. For channel liner class 2, it is $27.32 per ton. And for number 23s, it's $21.71 per ton. And the delivery date of the item bid is as requested. And at the very bottom, it says this bid form must be submitted, no other bid form will be accepted, that's ours. There is a fuel surcharge in the event during the period of this quotation that the national average fuel price for diesel fuel exceeds $4.35 per gallon. A surcharge will be applicable to this quote, and the fuel surcharge matrix is included behind that bid.
All right, has anybody got any questions on stone? Looks like they went up like everything else in the world, but.
How much did they go up?
So these red numbers, did you get this single page?
That was in the
sheet?
email, the one I printed out is in color.
Yeah, I didn't see the red on
There you
it.
go. So the red shows an increase, so,
They
you
all
know,
went up.
$1-ish on all of them.
Oh, yeah, I think, but this is just, I did.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna tell you that I'm surprised it didn't go up more. I really am. That's very, and, I mean, it's just not very much. DGA, which is dense grade, is the same as last year. I mean,
Pretty
just
close.
89 cents.
Yeah.
Motion to accept bid.
Okay.
Second.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Gamble,
Yes.
Rasmus.
Yes.
From landfill, we also only received one bid. It's from Waste Connections and Laurel Ridge Landfill. And they wrote a letter for their bid, so I'm gonna read it. Dear Mayor, Waste Connections of Kentucky is pleased to submit the following bid for one disposal only and two transportation and disposal services for the city of Corbin. Disposal of acceptable MSW and special waste delivered to the gate at Laurel Ridge Landfill to increase by the current CPI of 2.41%, $40.89 per ton. This rate includes all taxes and surcharges, including House Bill 174, $1.75 per ton that are currently being charged. Transportation and disposal of MSW and special waste from the city of Corbin Transportation to the Laurel Ridge Landfill to increase by the current CPI of 2.41% at $56.64 per ton. This rate includes all taxes and surcharges, including House Bill 174, $1.75 per ton that is currently being charged. Transport and disposal based on City of Corbin loading roll-off containers to capacity. Waste Connections of Kentucky will provide all required manpower and roll-off truck and additional containers, 2 41 cubic yard compactor boxes and 1 30-yard open top box for transportation and disposal services. City of Corbin will provide the transfer station, loading containers, and staging area for the efficient operation of the transportation system. Every attempt will be made to fill containers to capacity and legal weight limits. And then it has their hours of operation and their holidays.
So I know they didn't include a total for a yearly expected.
It just depends on the dumping.
The number.
And the price per ton.
How much garbage we get?
On average, is this our only option?
Yes.
It is.
Yeah, we called around last year. Anybody anywhere close, including Scott County, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Which we had done in the past, they're now owned by the same people. So, yes.
That motion to accept bid.
Good question.
The prices are just exorbitant, they're just,
Moore,
yes.
We gotta get rid of our garbage.
Gamble,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Rasmus.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then the last thing we had bids out for was cell phone service. The first bid we received was from Appalachian Wireless. The proposed monthly service with devices is for 66 iPhone 16s, 128 gigabyte devices with unlimited talk, text, and data, 4 iPad 10th generation devices with unlimited data, 1 TCL flip phone with unlimited talk, text, and data, and 22 MiFi hotspot devices. This is a total of 93 devices at $45.32 per device per month, and the total monthly charges before tax is $4,214.76. The calling features included at no additional cost is call waiting, caller ID, visual voicemail, and voicemail, three-way calling, call forwarding, nationwide roaming, and all devices are at no cost on a one-year agreement with the understanding that devices shall be returned or traded in after 1 year.
These prices are not
Who has the flip phone put on?
Yeah.
I think it's Perry.
We have somebody, oh, that's who it is.
No, the dispatch, phone in the dispatch has the flip phone. We upgraded Perry to an iPhone last year, or the year before last.
Oh, great.
So
And
we just
we
have
also-
one.
We also, received a quote from Verizon Wireless for due monthly for them is $1,062.73 for, theirs is broken up into different parts. That's for the plans and features, and then the devices is $1,599.96. Theirs has custom mobile broadband unlimited with MVP for public safety at $39.99 per month. Do I have to read every individual one? Okay, just do it. So the total for Verizon, I'm putting that bid overview. Their total monthly cost, adding up the different parts of their bid, is $3,702.07, making the annual cost $44,424.84. And so Appalachian Wireless, their total monthly cost was $4,214.76, making their annual $50,577.12. And Verizon's is actually cheaper than what it is right now. by about $4,000 a year.
Yeah.
Plus, we get to keep.
I'd
the
love to
phone.
go with Appalachian Wireless, but it's just cost prohibitive at this point.
Brandon made a motion to accept Verizon.
Thank you.
Second.
Gabriel,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Rasmus.
Yes. Authorize a party independent from, actually, we're gonna authorize Hacker Brothers, to draft the specifications needed to repair the roof at the Corbin Civic Center. We probably should have done that to begin with, but now we're gonna correct that. So Hacker Brothers is gonna get their architect to, draft the bid specs. Hacker Brothers, yeah.
Do we need a motion?
Yes.
Off that motion.
Second.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Rasmus.
Yes. Side note, that was one of his first projects, David Jackson's first projects with Hacker Brother was building the Civic Center. So
Really?
how weird is that? Well, I said, Scott said, do you still have your plans? They're 40 years ago. He did not, but anyway. Okay, time for the audit. Sammy? Good to see you.
Mr. Lee. How are you all? How are you, sir? See better, see that. Oh, okay.
I didn't even see you coming in. How long you been here?
About 4:30.
About 15 hours.
Hey, hold on.
Commissioner Baker's on.
All right, we'll begin. So the report's about 56 pages, and we will kind of go through the highlights of the report. To begin with, we'll go to page 2. Page 2 is our independent auditor's report letter. It's where we state our opinion over the overall condition of the city's operations and the city itself. And of course, we have to include a couple component units that are in here, so the pages from 2, 3, and 4 represent a lot of, this is our responsibility, this is your responsibility. But the main paragraph on page 2 is the second paragraph down, where we issue a clean opinion, pretty much the highest opinion that we can issue over the overall financial condition of the city. The assets, liabilities, and revenues and expenses we saw them go through your accounts and so forth. So it's a clean opinion, the best we can issue. Okay. If you would, let's go over to page 9. We're gonna skip around because this report has several sections that are duplications, but the main pages we're gonna talk about. On page 9, this is our statement of net position. We list out our assets, what we own, our liabilities, what we are obligated to pay back, and then our equity at the very bottom, it's the net position. So you'll see 3 columns. The last 2 columns on the right are for the Corbin Tourism and the Corbin Utility Commission. So we're just focused right on our city, which is the first column. And you can see there, we'll go right down, we had $7.8 million in current assets, which included $5.8 million in your bank accounts, checking accounts. CD at this point was $358,000, and then our receivables about $1,540,000. Those are your biggest assets that are liquid, most liquid assets that we have. Moving on down to our non-current assets, we have restricted cash accounts of $489,000. That's your LGA, municipal road aid, things that we just can't just reach in and spend for unrestricted purposes. Then we have, $95,000 in our net OPEB asset, meaning that we paid in some more on our other pension employee benefits. We have an asset, believe it or not. Then we have our non-depreciable assets of $3.4 million, and then our depreciable assets of $34.8 million. So that's about a little over $38 million in infrastructure that has not yet been written off. And we'll go cover another page that'll show you how much your true value of your assets that you have in infrastructure, which is really interesting to look at. Then we have something called deferred outflows of resources for $2.6 million, almost 2.7. Those are where we have paid our pension liabilities and obligations, where we have an asset that's been created. And as you recall from last year, that the state of Kentucky is about a year behind on getting these facts. So they don't process it as close to June 30th, so they're June 30, 23. So some of these numbers are listed here. And then that's our total assets that are the most liquid of everything that we have. About $48 million, almost $49 million. So good solid numbers there. Then our liabilities are right below this, and we're just going to go right down this column. Our accounts payables and accrued expenses, these are obligations that we haven't paid for, $766,000. Accrued compensated absences, about $15,000. Unearned revenues, just different sources of money that haven't, from an accounting standpoint, have not made it to the income statement. Deferred ticket sales, grants, and so on. It's about $2.2 million. Then our current portion of our notes and leases and bonds are $940,000, which these are our current liabilities of $3.9 million. So we'll stop right there for one moment, and we'll look back up to our current assets of 7.8. So that's about 2 to 1. So for every current asset we have, or a current liability we owe, which is the next 12 months, we have $2 to cover that. So 2 to 1 is a very good standard to follow in city government. So the things we look at, well, we're very efficient with our resources, and we're paying our invoices timely and some of those great things. Okay, so good solid numbers here. Then our long term, which is our non-current liabilities, we're looking at $20 million. Now, these are things that are not due this next year. They are due over the next 20, 25 years. Your net notes payables are $7.4 million. Compensated absences of $141,000. And then here's the part we don't like that much, is our net pension liabilities and our net OPEB liability. Together, they're about $12.8 million. Now, that's what Tori has to pay throughout every month through her retirement. And that just shows our proportionate share of all of our employees that participate in our retirement plan. That's what we show on the books. Okay? And then there's the deferred inflows of resources, again, related to your pensions. $5.5 million, we owe that, we just have not been invoiced for it. And then our net position, our total net position after everything is almost $20 million, which is solid. So we take away, when we look at these pages, we look at the strength of the city, and there is strength here where we have very currently paying our invoices, taking care of our outstanding obligations. Good financial page. Any questions on that page? Let's go to page 10. Page 10 has a lot of stuff going on here, but I'm just going to be brief with it. It takes all your departments and it shows your income from each department, or your expenses from each department. It includes the arena, all these different departments. Then it shows our total revenue, how we collect it, and then what I want to bring your attention to is the third line from the bottom where you see change in net position. So we had a $16.2 million in expenses that hit this page, And we had about 20 million in revenue. So that gave us about $3.9 million in increase in assets overall. Very good. Very good. Any questions on that page? If we would, let's go to page 14. And of course, on page 14 is the fiduciary account. This is our police and fireman fund that we kind of manage and oversee. So this is a breakout of total assets. You have $3 million, a little over $3 million in assets. We have 1.4, almost 1.4, and I'm rounding up, 1.4 in cash, in checking accounts, and then the investments or CDs of 1.6, a little over 1.6 million. So we have $3 million that are left in that account that's going to be ultimately paid out over the years. Okay. Their assets went up to over $337,000 from the previous year, so it actually did well too. Okay, so let's start on page 16. Page 16 through 39 is the notes to the financial statements. It talks about the accounting policies and procedures that are used to get this report put together. There's a lot of pieces of information in here, but we're just going to hit the important pages. A lot of it's the same from the prior years. If you would, let's go to page 23. And I just want to show you the pages that if you were looking at this tonight, or any time this week, you kind of know these pages. It gives you some good information. On page 23 is the cash, all of our checking accounts. I like listing these out so you can get an idea of all the different checking accounts that we have at the end of the year. It shows you where Tori and Rhonda have to reconcile these things on a monthly basis. So you have about $6.3 million in checking accounts, and right below that you have $358,000 in a CD. So there's your, and that ties back into the page 9 that we looked at earlier. All of the money here was secured by deposits at the local banks that they belong to, that they're invested in, and you have low credit risk here as well. So if you would, let's go over to page 25. On 25, this is what I mentioned earlier for you, is that we saw our book value of $38,000. That's our original cost minus all their accumulated depreciation. But
I'm sorry, I got lost. What page?
25.
Okay, all right, back.
And we're looking at the fourth column over.
Okay.
So if you look, our total, in the middle of the page, you'll see capital assets being depreciated. So this is all your infrastructure, vehicles, land, buildings. City has invested almost $68.5 million over time. And that's just something that you need to bring out and say, hey, we're managing almost $70 million in assets that are infrastructure that's not liquid, you know, and we've been writing this stuff off over the years. So our book value, which you go below there, that's from an accounting standard, is $38,000 at the very bottom. So we've written off almost $34,000 in depreciation since inception. It goes back for a very long time. So that gives you an idea of how much you're managing a budget of $20 million. You've got assets of probably close to 100,000 or I'm sorry, 100 million in assets. You know, pretty good operation. But that's a good page to note. To note in the audit report is your infrastructure here. And then on page 26, this is another good page to talk about. This shows our long-term debt. And at the very bottom of page 26, we will see the amortization of all your future debt payments. And this, of course, is an arena bond. You can see the first one there is $1,800,000. Well, if you pay the interest and everything, you're looking at $1.9 million. It's a good way to budget. when you set your budget, that we have these numbers. And then we break them out on each bond. If you flip to the next page, another series revenue bond, it's gonna be a payout of $3,129,000, and it's due to be paid off in the year 2037. So that first bond is due to be paid off around 2029, about 4 years from now. And then lastly, the Miller Park bond, you'll see it down there, it's due to be paid off of year 2051, and at the rate, it looks like it'll be a little under $3 million payback, unless there's, from time to time, the government will, the state will offer lower interest rates and maybe can refinance. So I have these, and then it continues the last page on 29, and then also on page 28 and 29, you'll see some capital leases that we have, enterprise leases, and then on page 29, we have a Xerox machine that's being leased, so just give you an idea. So that just gives you an idea of all the different loans that we have. And they were on page 27, 28, and 29. Any questions on those pages?
You know, it's gotten so kind of confusing on these bonds because over the years, we've combined, and it's like, you know, the City Hall had one, the arena had one.
Yep.
And I think they were combined at some point, and so anyway. It's a little, I'm still not exactly sure which one of these that the City Hall is in. It's obviously not Miller Park, so it's gotta be one of the.
One of the first two.
Yeah, 2020D or 2021F, I think.
Yeah, it might say.
You think it's F? Yeah. I think you might be right, cause it seemed like we did that one.
I think the arena is the one we pay off first.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, anyway,
Oh,
go
that's
ahead.
okay, that's okay.
Well, as you said, that's 2020, we thought it was 2028, but 2029, the arena's supposed to be paid off.
So.
We're waiting that day.
So on page 29 begins the retirement notes, and there's a lot of information in there. It talks about, you know, our funding, our expenses, and that goes to page 39. So we could talk a lot about that, but I don't know if you all really want to know about it, but it's in this book. If you want some good bedtime reading.
Nothing we can do about it, so.
It's
let's
outside
move
of our
on.
control.
Exactly.
So if you would, let's go to page 40. And this is a interesting page that we would like to present. It's a page, a section that we have to keep track of for 10 years. And then as the 10th year, you know, we'll have a running balance of 10 years. So I want you to go to the year 24, and we're talking about the hazardous and non-hazardous retirement. And the reason why I bring it out, this is our proportionate share. It shows up on our liabilities as on our balance sheet. It's like a liability there. It makes our numbers look a little bad, but this is our proportionate share of our future retirees. For hazardous, it's $7,361,000. Now, the interesting part is why I like to, I probably remember this from last year, but go all the way back over to your left to the year 2016, when it was implemented. Just a little under 4 million. This is outside our control. This is a number that just keeps rising. There might have been a little reduction a year or two ago, but it's on our books, so it's went up over $3 million from 2016. Then if you look down to the non-hazardous section, we'll look at the same situation. It's 4.4 million in the year 24. Back over 2016, it's 2.4 million. So that's up quite a bit. Just something that shows up on your financial statements. And for every city and state and local government that participates in this retirement plan, this is the CERS, the County Employee Retirement Plan. must show their proportionate share of liabilities, and your all's about $12 million. I've seen them as high as $25 million on the records of some of our audit clients, so it's just gonna be there. But anyway, I wanted to show you that page so that it's there. That's a good page. And then if you would, let's go over to page 49. I'm completing the financial part of the audit. And a lot of the pages that I skip around, these are just accounting language that we have to include and disclose. It's here. But if you go to page 49, it's another letter that we have to issue over the compliance and internal control of the city's operations. And we do have some findings, and they will begin on page 51. So a lot of the stuff that we encountered, I want to praise the city's administration because we came in and we did the audit here. We really didn't see nothing wrong. The city's operations in here are running very smoothly. Things that we asked for, no matter how crazy it sounds, was provided to us. You know, even the loans, the amortization schedules, those were given to us. You have really good records. So you do a really good job here. Now, we do have some issues at the arena, and that's what I want to talk about. I think we made some comments last year when we did the audit, and then of course there's been some ongoing reviews of it, but we have some, that's separate from what we do. We do when I do an audit, I try to find ways to improve, I'm your good guy, I'll try to help you. And so here's some of the things that we saw, and we just want to talk about it, okay? And the great thing about it may sound bad, but I know that the mayor, the city manager, staff has done a lot of changes and have incorporated a lot of new things. And these things we believe that will go away next year, okay? Number 1, page 50. Inadequate invoice support. That was something last year. You know, we can't look at every document that the city has. I'll be here for months and months. So we do sort of testing to try to figure out the hot spots. So we looked at and we requested, give you an idea, I looked at 70 invoices that were written by checks, and then we looked at 25 credit card purchases. Well, of that, it's probably a little under 100 items we looked at. Probably around 25 could not be located. So we're missing documentation. That is not a good thing. And all these findings are coming from the arena, by the way. Just to let you know. So I feel like now there's some things that's been implemented that we're on the right track to get this thing behind us. But that is a substantial amount of invoices that we could not locate. Because if you wrote 1,000 invoices, and you have to look at it from our minds, if there was 1,000 payments, that means 250 of them was not accounted for. That's significant, okay? On page 52, cash transactions. Basically, when a performer is up there, they have a lot of special needs in that contract when we have a deal with them. So what we were noticing that cash was being handed out to runners to go get things and bring back, and we just couldn't find an audit trail to some of that. So during our course of our review, there was incidences where we just could not come up with an audit trail that is suitable. I'll be flat out honest with you. And money was left in drawers you know, cash that could have been used for. Say if you have one contract, one event, and you had, cash is gonna show up because you got people buying concessions or whatever. And you had $10,000 worth of, cash there on hand, well, we expect that to get back to the bank. Well, I don't think that was happening. They were using this money to buy, expenses or pay for expenses for the next event, which we have to keep each event separate. They must maintain separation so that we can see if we're making any money. So that was this finding, and I think that that's gonna be eradicated based on what I'm hearing. Any questions on the first two? All right, page 53, nepotism. Cities are governed by KRSs and you can have, nepotism is a related person. You can, as long as you're not supervising someone, you can have it in a city. You can have someone being related and married, however. But I treat the arena as a separate department up there. And I feel like we have too much of it going on up there. We have a lot of spouses working. I don't know how they're justifying that separation. So I think you need to look at that and address it. Because that, one thing that, I've been doing this stuff for 30-some years. And that will lead to a lot of other unpleasantries that could happen with good employees, because there could be situations where when you have that relationship going on, special things could occur and other employees don't get the benefit of that. Time cards could be punched in, you know, one spouse may not be there, or two. So there's a lot of obligations there, or not obligations, there's a lot of potential risk there. I just think something needs to be addressed. Okay? Then inadequate contract, well, this is on page 54, this is the number 4, inadequate contract support. Well, basically, we looked at 2 different contracts, and one that we looked at had no signatures, we could not find where it was actually stamped, being accepted. Now, we requested all the signed documentation, but we never got it. And just wanted to kind of point that out, like, just something that any concert needs to have all paperwork. And I recommend that Scott would get those contracts in the future for everyone, just to make sure, you know.
We've made tremendous progress.
Okay. So with, you know, we can all talk about that, but it's like, how do you mitigate risk? Who knows what's supposed to be done, because there was no contract, and to this day, I've never seen that. It may have happened, but I never got the document. So I think that you are taking the best preventive steps now, and I don't see that happening down the road. Just wanted to say that too. Any questions on that one? On page 55, we have related party billings. Not sure how to sugarcoat that, didn't want to. But basically, we shouldn't allow employees provide services to our city. Needs to be arm's length transaction with a third party. So we had a case where we might be paying an employee for services rendered that bring in additional services to the arena up there. And I know that's been nilled too, so that's a finding. And then lastly, on page 56, unauthorized payment. We have situation where we were made aware of, and then we looked at it and we agreed it was an unapproved payment for that amount. Was wired out to a organization that we didn't really need to at that point, and the actual person was told they couldn't do it, should not do that, did not agree, did not go along with it at all. And so the moral of the story here is when you put a lot of authority in one person, they can do that stuff to you. What if that had been $450,000? It could be huge. And we just want to make sure that wires or anything, if you allow the new manager up there to make these, give them a limit of what they can do. But anything over that limit must come to us here, so that we have no one hurting our city. Okay. Any questions on that page? Again, this was from the arena that we looked at. And then lastly, you may have one of these sheets back here in the back. If you do, it's a communication letter where you're basically, I want to reiterate that the staff gave us everything we needed, that we worked well with your staff here, city manager, mayor, and everything that we asked for turned out okay. We were provided. And it also says if in there, if I am not welcome to the city council meeting, I will contact each of you to let you know. And I have not been allowed to come to city council meetings before. I don't know why.
We're glad to have you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But,
That was almost all good news, so.
but that's what that page is in there. But, if you do have any questions, that concludes the audit. I can go back over any page.
I just want to ask one question.
Yes, sir.
The steps we've taken, I believe, were helpful, and we're making progress. Is that how you see it?
I do see that. Very good.
Of course, we were several months into this fiscal year before, so there may be findings next year on those few months. I hope not, but anyway, I know it's not happening now, and we're appreciative of all your hard work in guiding us on where we needed to make changes. And I appreciate Scott's hard work and Chelsea's hard work in getting the arena back on track, and I'm really, really proud of it.
Ron and Tori, Heather,
Yes.
all the department.
Whatever, Tori and Heather, Tori, Rhonda, Heather,
All the
whatever.
department
No,
heads.
I'm kidding. They do a great job. They do, yes.
I have a question. Speaking about like the cash that you were talking about, is this in regards to like the cash that's collected in the night from the different vendors that's within the arena? And then they would be used for paying contracts?
Could be a
basically?
combination of stuff there.
So in order to mitigate that, I mean, is this the reason why like arenas have been going cashless? So maybe that might be something we probably should talk about.
Yeah, even local high schools getting into a soccer game is going cashless. I'll let you know that, so.
It's just a lot of cash going on at once, you know, that I don't really like. Too much cash, I feel like. Presents a big risk.
Sammy, wasn't ours more relative to events than?
I'm sorry?
Ours was more relative to events.
Yes.
Then rentals or,
You're right, or concessions. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Excellent.
yeah. And I'm teasing about Heather, Rhonda, and Tori. They worked really hard on all this, so appreciate everybody. Thank you, Sammy.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
All right.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
A lot of hard work there.
Oh, we need a motion to approve the audit,
To accept it.
to accept the audit.
Motion to accept.
Second?
Moore,
Yes.
Gamble,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Rising.
Yes. All right, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sammy.
All right, we got the, what do you need? Do you have a digital copy, Sammy?
I do.
Okay. All right, moving on to the city manager's report.
I don't know what to say after that. It covers a lot of ground. That's a lot of ground. I would like to make a recommendation tonight to the city council, city commission, excuse me. We need to go ahead and make Chelsea Chambers, who is in attendance tonight, our interim director of the Corbin Arena. She's been involved in a whole lot of this. So that's my recommendation.
She's done a great job.
Chelsea has done an excellent job up there. We really appreciate all of the work that you've done throughout this whole process.
So we need a motion.
Campbell,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Rasmus,
Yes. Congratulations and keep herding those cats. all right?
So we already talked about our municipal aid funds that are on the way from KYTC. We'll execute all the rest of the proper paperwork. I have spoken with the contractors, as you all know, and it really wasn't their fault, and they didn't, were trying to treat us badly. The contractors were covered up last year with big construction projects, the north end, the south end, and we didn't get to do any local street paving. And I was assured Friday on a phone call with the general manager of ATS and the other companies that company owns, they're gonna make time for us. Todd, Greer and I are gonna get together, and Jeff and I have already got some streets identified. We don't have a tremendous amount of money, but we've got some, and by not using very much last year, if any actually, we'll be able to do some work. So I hope whole neighborhoods don't think that we're gonna be able to roll in there and it'll be mostly patchwork. I'll give an example. The lower end of Roosevelt, there's been a lot of construction in townhomes, and we met with the owner and the construction manager of their projects down there last week, Jeff and I, and got a little idea of what we need to do on that street, do a little roundabout down there to make it more accessible for the school buses that have to make that turn, and widen the street and the ditching a little bit. So that's just an example. That will probably come in around, Jeff, 40? Yeah. So it goes pretty quick. But we're gonna do the best we can. I know some folks in Oak Lawn, one gentleman said that he had called 7 years in a row. And could we please do some patching near his house? So we've been up there looking at some things. So we're gonna be doing some work, folks, and hopefully we'll get some good patching and some pavement on city streets this year, I hope. And we will.
And there's been some good news from Frankfurt too, actually. A law has been passed where there is going to be some moving around of discretionary monies to where, because we've gotta have relief.
Yes.
We're not the only city in the state that is desperate for funds to pave our roads. It's just, it favors the counties. We love our counties, but, the fund or the
RNS, the rural secondary road money, we're not eligible for. So that's the county road money. We are eligible for, they've renamed it.
only the city portion. And,
Right, the discretionary, only the municipal aid money.
Yeah.
That's what's ours, yeah.
And since we're not a county seat, those county funds, they don't really make it to us. So anyway.
Right.
Hopefully there's some relief on the way, and we've got 2 years worth of
Yes.
funds to get some stuff done. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Exactly right. No, that's very good. Now, one thing that has arisen tonight, and we've known it for about a week, our landfill disposal rates have gone up $2.36, I think, as Commissioner Moore very aptly mentioned. What do we do? What's the answer? Well, there is no answer really. We just have to, we have to dump garbage. as the mayor said a little while ago, we gotta, somewhere, and that's our only option. So, it'll be up to the commission how we want to address that, but it's looking us, staring us right in the face, just like it was this time last year. So, I wanted to mention that, just so it'll be on all of your minds. I want to thank the department heads. They really bit the bullet, so to speak. You know, last year we talked about it was gonna be tight, and it's been tight. But they've really jumped in there, and I would say have been 90% cooperative. There's been the occasional slip up here and there, but you know, that happens. None of us are perfect. Not casting any aspersions toward anyone, but it happens. But we're getting there, and we, as Sammy said, the department heads were clean, the departments were clean. That means A+. So thank you for that. I would probably give it more of an A-, but Sammy's said what he said. But I appreciate y'all. It's very important, and this is a time of year that everybody becomes aware of just how important it is when you get the legal auditor of our funds coming in here and telling us. So that's pretty good stuff, and I thank you all. So, Mayor, that's about it for me right now.
All right, okay, let's move on to department reports. Let's start with Barry. You got anything, Barry?
I'll keep it short. The only thing I got, last month we went, actually it was February 15th, we went to Clay County for the floods. And we actually got a couple of certificates from, Emergency Management and Clay County Fiscal Court, recognizing the Corbin Fire Department and their Swiftwater Rescue Team. So I'm proud of everybody on their
Super proud.
departments.
How blessed we are, and how nice of them to do that.
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
very nice. Josh, you got anything? No? Jacob, what's
Yes.
going on with Parks and Rec?
I would like to first make the recommendation that we hire and make the pool manager position full-time. Once again, we have someone that I'm gonna recommend to you tonight to hire that position at $14 an hour, full-time with benefits. She has served as the head guard, I think, for 3 years. She's familiar with all of the chemicals and even the new heaters, the new pumps, everything at the pool. It would be Harley Grubb Mitchell that I would make the recommendation to you all to hire full-time. She would start May the 1st and put in 8 hours a day and really start utilizing the pool. A lot of money was invested in the pool prior to me being here for them. And I think Harley's the missing piece to be there full-time, get some programming going, and take it up a notch.
And really market the pool.
Absolutely.
The things you've talked about.
She's excited to get started. She has your all's blessing. So I would make that recommendation.
Awesome. Anybody wanna hire Harley? They do.
Motion to hire Harley.
All right.
So my question is, the money to hire, is that coming from someone that we've let go, or is that something that's gonna be extra?
Actually, it's quite a bit less than that.
Yes.
We have a motion and a second. Moore,
Yes.
Gamble,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Rasmus.
Yes.
And then I also want to just mention quickly that we are doing Keep Corbin Clean this week. And I have UC students coming tomorrow, 2 shifts of those, and then again on Wednesday. Also, the Corbin football team is gonna be working downtown, but we have, we're gonna really focus on the street lights and the trash cans and trying to clean those up, clean up the streets, the parks, when we send the groups out into the parks. But this year, as Nancy and I spoke about Keep Corbin Clean, which was a project that I think downtown Corbin did previously, we decided that we're gonna reach out to these volunteer groups that keep reaching out to us saying that they're willing to help. And we don't have to have a set day or a set time, we just need to give them the materials that they need to go out in the community, and we can make time for any volunteers that wanna come and help us keep Corbin clean.
Yeah.
So, I mentioned it being a week, someone said shouldn't it be all the time, and it should. So anyhow.
I love that.
Then this week we have Colonel Fest. Pray that we have good weather on Friday and Saturday. We have over 50 vendors that are signed up. Some of the things that we always do, downtown entertainment, some live music, have a clown on hand, come to the tricks and things like that. So anyhow, all right, thank you guys.
Awesome. Thank you.
Can I go back? We forgot to mention Sky, who's been a very, big part of watching our.
Collecting the money.
Yeah, she collects the
She
money.
likes to
I couldn't
collect.
see her, Josh is in the way, sorry. Thanks, guys.
She's very good at collecting. No, thank you, Scott. And Robin, I don't see Robin here.
Robin's not here.
No.
with
We
thing.
worked hard today, I'll tell you that.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. All right, Mike, what's going on with code enforcement? Anything?
Well, yeah, but.
Right, nothing you need to
bring up.
bring? Okay, awesome.
I do have one thing, kind of something Mike and I are kind of
Oh, yeah.
Oh, all right.
working on. We've asked some permission from you guys. We have DJ that owns Hotel Coffee Shop downtown. And he had called and asked me about, what they call a sidewalk cafe. And so around the state, cities have what they call sidewalk cafes. And it's basically, an outside area to their existing restaurant. So DJ has kind of a unique thing. I don't know that we have anybody else downtown that really fits the pattern, but he's got the large sidewalk on 3rd Street that attaches to his coffee shop. He currently has bistro tables out there now. He just got his alcohol license and he's open for dinner and for brunch. And basically he wants to be able to set tables up out there and for them to be able to have alcohol. Now, I read a lot of other cities' ordinances that have a current sidewalk cafe ordinance, just to see what their important key points were. A lot of them don't have any type of fencing or restriction or anything. We kind of talked about it and felt like that was probably needed. I asked Bob's opinion, he said he agreed. That it just keeps the space where you don't travel outside of that with alcohol. A couple of the important things were, we also think that if we're gonna allow this, that we need to have an insurance policy. Basically naming the city as additional insured, because it is a sidewalk, it doesn't belong to us. Any thoughts on that? We do have the 36 inches for ADA that we have to keep for passing traffic and foot traffic and wheelchairs and all that. Mike's went down and measured, Barry went down, there was no issues with any of that. It would basically be a process that if anybody had it, we wanted to kind of do an application, just their name, proposed area. Mike would go down and inspect. I would make sure that they had the proper ABC licensing and just kind of check all the boxes.
Mr. Hammond, you looked at all this on
I sure did. And I gotta tell you, Sky and Tori over there, excellent job. She prepared proposed ordinance.
Want me to read it?
Well, I just made a couple of changes in it. I
If y'all
thought
want
you,
to approve it, we have that, me and Tori got it together just in case you want Mike to know.
yeah, because I've reminded them of the fact that don't just jump in and throw it.
No, I'm asking permission, but we were ready if you said.
Instead of forgiveness,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah, I mean, let's just take a minute and read it over. I think it's great. I like the idea of the barrier because it can bleed into,
Thank you.
the walkway. You know, I could see where we could lose our ADA compliance if we didn't have that barrier. Yeah.
I do appreciate it. I gotta go see somebody.
Okay. Side note, if y'all notice me with these glasses going on and off and on and off, it's because the dog ate my glasses. And so, these are readers, but I can't see far away, so I have to take them off to see people, then I gotta put them on to read, and struggling.
This is really well thought out, so.
Well, I took, a lot of things for a lot of different cities, but the one I focused on most was Danvers. Bridget Lester was there for 20+ years as their code enforcement and ABC administrator. Before she retired, she was like on every ABC panel at every meeting, so her stuff is very legit. So I kind of took a lot from her to trust what they kind of do and what they follow over there, so.
It's very nice there too, not what they do, it looks
Yeah.
good, they have probably
Yeah.
7 or 8, 6 maybe.
I mean, that's very simple and.
Yeah. Just can't be a chain link.
Yeah, why don't we, y'all wanted to read it?
Yeah.
All right, read it.
This will be 2025-5, right? Yeah, this is ordinance number 2025-5. An ordinance of the City of Corbin, Kentucky, amending ordinance number 5-2012, establishing regulations and requirements for the licensing and operation of sidewalk cafe establishments for the sale of alcoholic beverages within the city, that's the typo there, within the City of Corbin, Kentucky. Be it ordained by the Board of Commissioners of the City of Corbin, Kentucky as follows. Section 1, ordinance number 5-2012, known as the Alcoholic Beverage Control Ordinance, is hereby amended and shall read as follows. Section 17 will become Section 18, solicitation for the purchase of alcoholic beverages prohibited. Section 18 will become Section 19, Section 19 will become Section 20, Section 20 will become Section 21, Section 21 will become Section 22, and Section 22 will become Section 23. And then we're adding this new Section 17, sidewalk cafe. Outdoor alcoholic beverages shall be permitted only on premises licensed for sales of alcoholic beverages by the drink. Restaurants are required to have some type of temporary fencing or vegetation surrounding their outdoor area. All alcoholic drinks taken to outside sidewalk cafes must be served in glasses. No disposable drinkware will be permitted. Alcoholic drinks are not to be taken outside of the exterior designed dining area of said restaurant. The licensee shall be required to submit an application for review to the ABC administrator. The City of Corbin Code Enforcement Officer and ABC administrator will review the application and make an on-site inspection of the proposed area. No sidewalk cafe shall be permitted in any portion of the public sidewalk where normal pedestrian traffic flow is obstructed. A minimum clearance width of 36 inches shall be maintained on the public sidewalk at all times. The sidewalk cafe shall not be permitted in any manner to obstruct the entrance or exit to the restaurant. The use of a portion of the public sidewalk as a sidewalk cafe shall not be an exclusive use. All public improvements, including but not limited to trees, light poles, traffic signals, pool boxes or manholes, or any public initiated maintenance procedures shall take precedence over said use of the public sidewalk at all times. The applicant must provide evidence of a $1 million general liability insurance, including but not limited to liquor liability coverage with the city named as an additional insured under the policy, and the applicant shall provide to the city a certificate of insurance in compliance therewith. Once the area proposed is approved by the code enforcement officer, the applicant must provide the ABC administrator a copy of the general liability policy for the proposed area. This must be updated yearly to maintain agreement. Section 2, if any section, subsection, paragraph, sentence, clause, phrase, or a portion of this ordinance is declared illegal or unconstitutional or otherwise invalid, such declaration shall not affect the remaining portions thereof. Section 3, all ordinances or portions thereof in conflict herewith are hereby repealed. Section 4, this ordinance shall take effect upon 2 readings, proper passage, and legal advertisement. First reading, April 21st, 2025.
Motion to accept?
Second.
Campbell,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Rasmus,
Yes. All right.
I've got something.
Okay.
I talked to Scott, the Board of Education has done a bunch of remodeling over there alongside of, where we did, and during that construction, there was some sidewalks that had to be removed, and now they need to be replaced. And the school board wants to do that, it's gonna cost about $45,000 to $50,000 to do that.
Okay.
The only problem is, that is tied, those sidewalks are in the city's name.
Yes.
Before they can spend that money, I would recommend we do a quick claim deed to them, so that they would repair and make it, just an improvement to that area.
I don't see any negative to that at all. I think we've done it
Positive.
we've done it in the past
Oh, yeah.
on other sidewalks, and, it'd be nice to go ahead and get that sidewalk replaced.
Looking good before.
Football season, and people are out walking, so.
So I just need authorization to prepare the quick claim deed and bring it back to you all for approval.
Motion to approve the city attorney's recommendation. Second.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Rasmus.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, let's see, Tom, you got anything going on? Jeff, you got anything going on? Chelsea, you got anything you need to talk about at the arena? Next month, right? Okay, all right, okay. Let's see, what do we, oh, wait a minute. Rusty, you got anything for police department?
We just hired 2 new police officers.
I noticed, yeah, all right. Awesome, okay. Nancy?
I'll be quick. I wanted to update you all on the rebranding redesign. We talked a little bit about, that we were looking at doing that. We're currently reviewing an agreement with BidMonster. Hopefully, we might choose to start that project with the remaining fiscal year, the current fiscal year. And then we did amend and, adopted our bylaws just a few weeks ago. So the major change in there was moving the meeting time from 5:15 on the second Tuesday monthly to 4:30. And we submitted the, updated bylaws that we adopted to Tori for her records. And then, requested updates wherever they might need to be on the website or, with the SPGE registration and so forth. And then, the last thing that I want to share with you all, we are working on a list of maintenance beautification projects, and we have ordered 20-inch new baskets for all of the Main Street light poles, and then the 3 poles that go down Jordan Kidd. And so those are ordered and being planted, so we should have those ready to work with Public Works for hanging somewhere around Mother's Day. You know, the weather is dependent on that, so we don't want to fill with frost.
Right.
That's all I have to, thank you.
Awesome, can't wait to see the new baskets. Thank you all for the investment in the city. Bruce, you got anything going on? No? Oh, I don't know. Are we doing Jacob tonight?
It's up to you.
Yeah.
Why don't we?
It's up to you.
Okay.
We're to give them move.
Let's do it.
So do you want me to talk?
Yeah.
Okay, so, it was mentioned to me about, since I'm working 40 hours a day, I was just joking. It was mentioned to me that, because of certain skills that Jacob Roan has, particularly in the, avenue of grant writing, areas along, of course, Jacob was a downtown coordinator in Pineville before he came here. And, he's doing a lot. However, it was mentioned that perhaps Jacob could be considered to be the assistant city manager. Did I word that correctly? Assistant city manager.
Yes.
In conversations with Mr. Hammonds, he explored the possibilities, per KRS, which we want to do everything correctly. And so.
That would have to be done, I don't mean to interrupt.
No, that's fine.
Pursuant to KRS 83A.150. And there would not be a delegation of the, responsibilities and duties that's set forth by the city manager. You're not delegating, you would not be delegating his statutory obligations as city manager, is what I'm saying. He could be the assistant, he can follow direction and do with that.
Oh, right, yes.
Because there's a provision in there that if, once you do that, the statute is just particularly for one city manager.
Right.
Okay?
Gotcha.
That's why it has to be an assistant, not a deputy.
Right.
Okay? And because if you do it, if you delegate, then no reflection on you, but you would have to be, to depart from him, you have to go through very complicated.
So this way, that's not the situation.
That's right, we're not,
Okay.
it's not to be delegated any statutory duties.
Gotcha. Now I
of the
understand
city
what you're saying.
manager.
It's
I'm
relative to our form of government.
Gotcha,
Yeah, that's
gotcha.
right.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I do know that, Jacob's wearing a lot of hats, and we could definitely use some more help that are not in the hats that he's already wearing. So it only makes, unless we create something,
No, I like this a lot better.
okay, then we'll just call him, we'll call him Scott's assistant and.
He's Scott's assistant.
He's Scott's assistant, all right, well, he will be if somebody makes a motion and we vote on it.
I'll send a motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Moore,
Yes.
Gamble,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Rasmus.
Yes. All right, new assistant, city
Good,
manager.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Congratulations.
You're welcome. Okay, now it's time for, does anyone want to address the commission?
I do, I'm going to
Okay,
need.
hang in there, hang in there.
Be patient.
Dude,
Okay. First off, thank you for the ordinance on the speed limit.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. I also brought you all a relic, besides me. And, you know, I don't think there's anybody in here too young to remember what these are. In the phone book, under charities, there are like 6+ agencies that will accept cars, okay? They will even pick them up for free.
give that to our new assistant city manager, and he can put that on our Facebook page. How about that?
This is a perfect example.
I got this kind of phone book.
Already working for the city.
There you go.
A bunch of them.
All right, we'll talk.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, also, I'm a lot of things, okay, some good, some bad, I'm first to admit it, okay, one thing I'm not is a liar, okay? Even though there's been efforts in the past to paint me as such, but I just wanna make 3 factual comments. Reports can and have been falsified. Photographic documentation has disappeared. And I'm not a business, I'm just a minority in this town anymore, which is a property owning resident in the town. But I have a legitimate ongoing issue, and I was ignored, I was mocked, I was lied to and lied about. Okay, so now we'll go on to the new topic of the day. And this one came to the forefront because of something I went through a little over a week ago. We need to talk animal control. I got threatened by a neighbor because I reminded him after chasing his dog off my porch that his dog was supposed to be on a leash.
Whenever something like that happens, you can call dispatch, they'll send an officer out immediately, that way you don't have to deal with, you know. Or, well, dispatch can call animal control for you as well, but if there's another human being there that you're arguing with, you need to call dispatch.
Anyway.
But we do have a contract with Whitley County Animal Control, so.
I'm not throwing off on those guys, okay, because they're trying to do a whole county, the city of Williamsburg and parts of Corbin, and that's a lot for 2 guys to handle. And they're only there Monday through Friday, you know, and like I said, they're gone by 3 in the afternoon or so. We have got strays running all over this town, not only in my neighborhood, I almost clobbered one out here in front of City Hall. Only I saw him.
Are we talking about dogs or cats?
Yes, we're talking about dogs, okay? I saw him coming, I slowed down, the car behind me didn't like me slowing down, pulled over and just about, in the other lane, just about got the dog and me and him, okay? So, we need to do something about animal control. I only had a minute to talk to Rusty, but a couple of suggestions I wanna throw out here for you all, cause I know you're working on the budget. We get an animal control officer, let them work, you know, like maybe 4 midnight, something like that, because a lot of people come home from work and turn their animals loose, okay, like the dog run, okay? Make them part of the police department, so when they are out doing animal control patrols or that kind of stuff, they can also be eyes and ears for the police department at the same time. And one of the situations when it comes to cats, is the Board of Education bought a piece of property that was a former home of a cat hoarder. And somehow during the process, all the cats got turned loose. Now, at the time the cats were turned loose, the animal shelter was refusing to accept any cats in any form, kittens or otherwise, okay? I ended up with 2 cardboard boxes on my front porch with 10 cats in them, trying to help the situation. Other people in the neighborhood did the same thing, took them in, fed them, whatever we could do. 2 of them had been tortured. And they were no more, some of them were no more than 3 to 4 weeks old when I got them. So we need, we had the catch, fix, and release program that, for a little while. The low-cost spay and neuter is now gone. That's not available anymore. There's got to be some kind of solution. Got to be somehow, some way.
Thank you, Ms. May.
You're welcome.
All right, anybody else? All right, we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second. Ward? Yes. Gamble?
Yes.
Shepherd?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
It's a lot of good work.
Yeah.